There's one problem with that, and it's on the first string. There it is. There's no way, unless you're double jointed, that you can get your first finger to bar all three of those and then invert to get off that last one. So it's good when you want to rear back and just kind of get the bottom four strings of it. But if you want to get the full chord, you really got to work on getting these fingers to squeeze all up in there together. Okay? A seventh is pretty easy. We just take our A, we move our third finger down and take our pinky out of the picture. So we have open A, second finger on that fourth string, open G. Make sure you can hear that open G. Make sure that second finger, make sure his rear end isn't sitting on that string. Then third finger squeezing up underneath there on that C sharp and open. Very good. The last one we're going to cover is an E. All 6 strings on that E. It's an E7, excuse me. Go ahead and form it by making your E that we learned earlier. Remember that? Now just take your third finger off. If we take our third finger off, we're just left with our second and our first. And that's an E7th. Chords are getting easier, aren't they? You're probably pretty thankful about that right about now. That's an E7. Let's go through a couple of these exercises. Basic open chord exercises basic chord exercises 3, and we're going to start with the first one. Okay? Starts on that D. Ready, play. 4-string chord. Give you a second to find this A and squeeze all those fingers on that second fret. Go. One more time to the D. Ready, play. Back to A, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Okay, let's skip down a little bit. Let's go down to, let's say, number 5. Okay, that one starts on a G. Now I'm starting to really get a little bit more complex with the chords, the quarter notes, and the eighth notes of the chords. Okay, so you have to pay attention to your rhythm a little bit. Starts on a G. We'll go nice and slow. Ready, go. Rest. Rest. E minor. Rest. C7th. Rest. D7th, rest. Remember on those down ups, we're accurate coming down, and we just did a couple of them coming up. Let's do number 5? Let's do number 5 again. Ready? Go. Rest. Rest. E minor. Rest. Rest. C7th. Rest. D7th, rest. Now, you may have a problem with some of your chords. It takes a little bit longer for you to actually form the chord, and so you're kind of hesitating in between them. You may do the first G, and then it kind of takes you a minute to get that E minor. The more you practice that, the quicker that transition will get. Where you change those chords is important, and we'll talk about that in the next section. For our guitar tips section, we're going to talk about 2 important concepts relating to chords. First of them is changing chords at the right time. This is very, very important. A lot of times as you're practicing these chord changes, we're very worried about making sure that all of these notes are coming out at the right time and that you're playing them enough times, and then it's time to play that next chord, and you got to think about it there for a second. And then you kind of move on. Okay, well, when you're actually playing a song, you got to keep those chords in the right spots or the song doesn't work. So it's better for you to get through and maybe chop off a couple of beats of that first chord in order to land that second chord at the right time. It's better to do that than to catch every last drop of that first chord and miss the second chord. I'd rather you cut off the first one, give yourself a little time to get what you need